Hey there, Nana Prep here, and you know I wasn't going to be sitting here saying nothing about HB 8 because I think everybody's got the wrong impression, number one, about how I feel about it, number two, what this bill does. So, first off, I encourage you to get online, and it's very easy to look up, and it's a very easy it's the page that comes up is very easily navigated, and you can go right to the bill, and it's not even that long, and read it, because you know what? It's not even that hard of a read, okay? It's very clear and very concise. So I encourage every one of you to pull it up and read it for yourself. Everyone seems to think this is about background checks, because number one, it's called the Background Check Act of 2019. And in a way it is. And I don't have a problem with background checks at all. Even though it's a flawed system and it doesn't work, especially targeting, everyone's worried about mass shooters. Okay, go back and research your last few mass shootings, and what you'll find is a group of mentally unstable people. And I would almost guarantee you the majority of them will have passed a background check. And what did that do for us? Nothing. That's right, nothing. So background checks are fine keeping it out of the criminals' hands, because if they go and get a gun and don't pass a background check, they leave the gun store all pouty because now they can't get a gun. WTF. So whatever about background checks, I don't really care about background checks. But what this does do is take the law-abiding citizens like me, and I'm assuming you. I have a background check on file with fingerprints. Okay? And have for probably the last 10 years, I think, was when I went into the criminal justice business and got my first background check and fingerprints done then. And then, 5 years ago? No. Just a few years ago, I had them done again. So I have one on file. And there's a very good chance that you have a background check on file as well. Because, especially if you work for a large business or corporation, or a bond-type business, a business where you have to be bonded. In fact, I wonder, does Walmart even do background checks? It's very possible that they do. Every effing buddy does a background check. And they're not going to hire you if you are, normally it's a felon. They won't hire you if it's a felony, which they should change that law. That's a whole nother video. But they'll really frown on a misdemeanor, and trust me, they'll take the kid that has a clear background over the one that has the misdemeanor on his criminal history. Fact, I worked human resources for a while. That's the way it works. That's what you do. Okay, so this bill, then, knowing what you know about me, I have a buddy who has a gun that he's selling it for a good $100 cheaper probably than I could buy it from a licensed dealer, because it's very used. I mean, he's had it for a while. He knew I was looking. Maybe I'm thinking about buying my friend's gun. Now I can't. He cannot sell it to me, and I cannot buy it from him. Now, he can loan it to me if I want to go hunting or target shooting at the range. And there might be one or two other specific items that address loaning someone a gun. If my husband or grandparent or child or sibling, and I even believe they even go to aunt and uncle, because they're very specific about that as well, can gift me a gun. So a blood relative or an immediate relative, I don't know how you would tier that, but read the bill because it's very clearly stated. They can gift me the gun. So we can do that too. What if tomorrow I wake up and go, you know what? I'm totally against guns. I hate guns. Why have I been supporting guns? I am going to sell all my guns. Guess what? I can't. I cannot sell my guns to anybody. Even a police officer friend. Unless he was going to guarantee that he carries it while he's in service. I think is how it's worded. Read the bill. You'll see how it's worded. Okay. The crazy guy is going to pass the background check. The criminal isn't going to F with a background check. They haven't yet. They're not going to now. This solves nothing. Do you know what will solve something? And I'm going to probably lose a couple people, and there's going to be a couple people pissing their pants. You know what solves something? Arming yourself. You want to worry about a mass shooting? Well, you know what? I bet the mass shootings will really decline once the guy thinks, you know what? There's probably 20 people in that crowd armed. I got a real freaking chance. You know, it's going to take a couple, one or two horrible, tragic mass shootings where somebody freaking steps up with their weapon and pops the freaking guy in the head that the other guys are going to go, oh, this has really become a dangerous game. Maybe I don't want to do that anymore. It doesn't take a whole lot of sanity to get that thought process drilled in your brain when you're watching people doing what you want to do get popped. That's what's going to solve the problem. If I go into a restaurant and I see a guy openly carrying, I'm going to sit close to him if I can, if there's a table. I don't open carry. I don't carry at all because I'm working myself into that. I do want to carry eventually, but I don't. I never have before. It's a new thing for me, but I'm telling you, my job lends me to being a target by association, not because of anything I do, not because of any decision I make, but it's because who I work for. Sometimes these guys aren't real popular. Or they are, but for way the wrong reasons. By the time you hit the top of them steps with your freaking gun, and you're going to pop the first person you see in the office, which is me, you may take my head, but it won't be without me taking something of yours. That's what I have. That's what I have to do because it's a freaking real thing. Some places of work are dangerous. Going to Walmart can be dangerous. Going to a freaking concert or a graduation. Watch the freaking news. Get off your cable and satellite TV and watch the freaking news. And hear about the 14, 15-year-old that came out of her, 8th grade graduation and got popped as she hit the door. The only thing that's going to solve this gun problem is by allowing your citizens to arm themselves. In fact, they should be encouraged to do so. In fact, once you get your background check, once you take your gun safety course, and once you register your gun, I think you ought to get a freaking tax cut for every weapon you own. Yeah, I said it. I think so. I think so. If I am a responsible gun owner who's willing to protect myself and the people around them, I should freaking get credit for that. Sorry. But that's how I feel about it. You know, the war on drugs didn't work, and we finally figured that out. This freaking taking the guns away from the freaking law-abiding citizens, making it hard for them to arm themselves, and not, well, there's a reason they're not encouraged to arm themselves. That's not going to solve the gun problem, because the crazy guy and Bubba Fat Joe off the block don't give two shits about your background check. Because there are 6 corners within 10 square miles of the city where you can meet somebody under a bridge and they open their trunk and it's freaking Weapons R Us. It's a real thing. Alright. I don't even think I'm going to talk about this anymore. I've said what I'm going to say about it. Sorry if you disagree with me. I'm sorry if I offend you, because my intention is not to do so. My intention is to wake you up. Guns are not bad. Guns can be carried responsibly. They can be owned responsibly. It's a freaking $50 safety course. If you were hunting deer, you'd have to take one. I think you should have to take one if you own a gun, too. Not against it at all. Not against it at all. Not against the background checks either. But who's being restricted here? Who really is being restricted? Is it the crazy guy? Is it Bubba Fat Joe off the block? Or is it Nana Prep, who just wants to keep herself from getting popped in any given place at any freaking given time? Alright, Nana Prep,